Uh, what do you think, James? You got a prediction here for 2021?
Yes, I do. My prediction is that we will finally get a new version of the Switch, or what people are clamoring to be called the Switch Pro. And it is going to be very disappointing. It's going to be very disappointing to basically everybody who wants one to exist. Because anytime Nintendo does this, where they have a console, and they're like, well, we're going to put out a new version of that console, generally it's a pretty small improvement. Like the new 3DS was just like a little bigger with like a slightly better processor, so like things didn't like come with any slowdown. It had like a second analog stick, like just very little things that made it was small enough changes that you felt like you really had to deliberate on whether or not you were going to buy the upgrade. And it's the same with like with the DS, they added backlighting, which was honestly enough to justify a second purchase. But it's a small change, right? So I think we're going to get a Switch Pro.
Okay.
It's going to change like maybe two things. Like it'll have a slightly stronger processor and some functional upgrade to like the Joy-Cons that's like cool and convenient, but like doesn't blow the fucking doors off.
I have a prediction for it as well. They're gonna get rid of the black bezel. It's gonna be the whole display is gonna be, from corner to corner surface area.
Okay, that's extremely plausible.
Yep.
There's a lot of real estate missing there.
That's true. I mean, also, what are the odds of them calling it the Nintendo New Switch?
Oh yeah, the Switch Plus maybe or something. Switch Up.
Yeah.
The Switcheroo?
Yeah.
I like that.
The Switchback. It'll be they'll give it a contested name that half the people will hate, and it'll change two things, and they will not be big. So people are like, because if they make, for example, what some people have been clamoring for, if they make a 4K model, then what that means is that every game that comes out after the release of this model has to use the new version of the Switch. And then you cut your fucking install base in half, and it's just like, boy, oh boy, we're going to sell a lot of these games. Not anymore, you're not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
Also, if you tried to design a handheld system that was going to pump out 4K graphics into
Even
the
just
palm of your
docked.
hands,
Even just docked. Have fucking fun.
but like, regardless, that's going to be like holding a nuclear fuel rod in your hands. It's going to be hotter than the surface of the sun. Like, fuck. I could see maybe going from like a 720 screen on the Switch right now to a 1080.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
they blow
sure.
that screen up to the edges and make it 1080.
Sure.
900.
That's it.
Yeah, they'll do another like half.
900. Drop it down. 540. Because they want to make sure that Crisis runs on this baby.
Absolutely. A lot of Switch diehards will tell you already that the Switch can compete with, they will say the PS5, they will say the Series X. I won't even acknowledge those comments, but they will say that the Switch is on par with the PS4. It is on par with the Xbox One. It's not. When
No.
Nintendo develops a game for it, like you said earlier in this episode, when Nintendo puts that ridiculous Nintendo polish on their games, they're fucking amazing. And when the Switch works really well, it's awesome. But those moments are few and far between with that system.
It's the typical Nintendo problem that they've had with every one of their consoles since, I don't know, the Super Nintendo. That their games are fucking fantastic and nothing else can hang.
Yeah. Most of the third-party stuff is generally garbage.
I hate to say it. I really wish that thing, was not... I'm not going to say it's bad, but I wish it wasn't as bad as often as it is.
That's a long time Nintendo problem. It's something I've made my peace with fucking generations ago. It's just like, no, you're gonna have this console for the first party titles and a handful of third party titles. Generally, that's about it. Sometimes you get a console that hits a sweet spot, like the Wii and the DS were somehow really easy to develop for, and then so you had like crazy amounts of good third party shit on there. But like it's kind of a rare occurrence. Like the DS was like a special focal point of their history. Yeah.
Ooh, how about that for a bold prediction? The Switch 2, it's clamshelled with a second screen. Fucking huge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's bold.
That'd be a great.
Bold.
They'd be like, well, we didn't want to bump up the resolution too much, so we wanted to give you double the power, so we just made another fucking 3DS. Surprise!
Man, like, how pumped would people be on that? I think a lot of people share that same sentiment that you do, James, where the DS was a special time in their history.
Yeah.
Just a lot of good third-party stuff, like crazy amount of good RPGs.
Yeah. So yeah, we were talking Fire Emblem the last episode. I would love to go back and play those Fire Emblem like remakes that were on.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.